Good morning, everyone. Today is Monday, July the 17th. My name is Anne-Marie Band, and this is the Moneyball Morning Report for the Benzinga Pro platform. We've got Empire State Manufacturing Survey out, and that is really about it. Today, we might have a little bit of news. Tomorrow, Wednesday, and Thursday, we've got a few more things in line, but we'll talk about that at the later dates. Earnings continue to come in. This week, we'll do regional banks and some of the high-flying tech. And so right now, what we just want to do is look at price. So what we've seen last couple of days, remember, two candles to the left plus the candle in motion. Where we are is that we gapped up slightly when we opened up last night, and now we are struggling just below the low of Friday. So here's the thing. Who gets more excited about lows in this kind of formation when you've already had a high that could not hold, and now you have another lower high unable to break the open of that prior day? We've got some sellers that are going to say, hey, I might take advantage of this. What is the trend? Look, green ribbon, green ribbon, green ribbon. The trend is up, but traders are trying to find some measure of support. In my mind, that's really what I believe is happening. They've lost this candlestick formation, so now they're going to move down into this area. Traders are going to try and hold the high of this wick. That's 45.23. The first group of buyers are going to get excited right here. Actually, they tried to get excited here, and they pushed it up, but they cannot hold. So right now, the sellers are forcing us into the body of this candlestick. Again, it doesn't matter what time frame or what instrument you're looking at, it's always the same because of the human condition. And the human condition says, if I'm bullish, I'm going to buy my dip. And if I'm bearish, I'm going to sell that break, okay? Or I'm going to sell where resistance can't hold. So this is really what I want to share with you. Today, as long as we don't breach 45.41, listen, that's a big number. I've been talking about it for days and days and days. 45.41 should have been where we closed to give ourselves some strength. Let's take a look at a 4-hour chart. Okay, so from this 4-hour formation, this tells us, hey, listen, I tried to close up above my 45.40, but I could not. Okay, so that's the line in the sand. That's really where I think the sellers are going to still pile in as long as we can stay below that number. Okay, now, so what's happening here is a dip to where old resistance becomes new support. So we're going to see some buyers at 45.19. As we see the buyers at 45.19, we can take the long, but we must breach the higher lows, the lower highs in order for continuation. Right now, bounces are sell zones into these formations that go, wait a second, resistance becomes support. Is it support again, or does it resume as resistance? If it resumes as resistance, we head to 45.04. What's my thought? Listen, we're long in the tooth. I am a naturally bearish person under the formations, but if I have been trading bearish, I would be in the park feeding the pigeons, right? Not a good thing to do in this space at this time if I'm a tactical trader where I'm taking money out of the market every day to pay my bills, okay? Just not the thing that I can do at this juncture. So what I'm looking for is pullbacks to be buy zones. Right under here, 44.91, is the second time from a daily perspective this breach If it loses it, it'll come back and test it. My thought is that every time we move up like this, we give ourselves a pretty nice fade. And so I'm looking for a fade today. I'm looking for bounces to be sell zones simply because we've got 2 days of motion and we're working through this candlestick body. If the buyers come in at 45.21 and I breach my 45.40, selling is not an option anymore. And so you've got to look at that space and say, okay, how long do I want to be in this trade? What do I want to get out of this trade? And then move in that space, right? We're tactical traders. If you're a long-term trader, you're looking for deeper buys that minimize your risk, that you can hold through the wiggles. But this is not a buy zone, right? For the Qs particularly, this thing is 25% off of, I don't know, a 50 moving average is the statistic I saw. That's long in the tooth. And so what does that tell you? Don't buy the absolute highs. Wait for the fade. Anne-Marie, how long will the fade take? I don't know. Maybe it's 4 days. Maybe it's 3 days. But we definitely fade in these formations. We are not in any kind of savage move to the upside without some kind of retracement. So what did we do? High, pull back, another high, pull back, brand new high. We should have a pullback. Just my thought, right? Simple is as simple does. And so for me, trying to be as simplistic as possible, because if I think too much, I get wrapped around the axle. I'm going to look at this very cleanly and say, where am I with respect to my 2 prior candles? Am I breaking the high of 15,740? If I can't do that, that's a sell zone. And guess what? My risk is very tight, because if it breaks the zone, I've got air, rarefied air, up into these edges right over here, which are the next lines in the sand to the north. And quite a bit of tech is going to report. So we've got to think about that if it ends up being good news. All right, so let's go directly to SPY. I know I've chatted too long. Oil is going to be very interesting. If it keeps rising, it's going to weigh on the market. And if we draw down in the SPR, I don't even want to think about that. All right, so here we go, SPY. Topping formation, but still a lot of room to run. What are we doing relative to the candles? Listen, we get up over that 449. Traders are going to try and push it. Now, who's pushing it? Could be buyers getting excited, buying the new high. Probably sellers thinking, holy cow, I sold too early again. I got to get out. Okay, so anytime we're going to breach this area, we're going to see a ton of running up in that formation, and that's what we're looking at in SPY. Right now, the pullback action looks to be this gap, right? Because this gap has not filled in the future. So where is that number? Close 46.40, right? There we go. That is my suspicion about where the first fade will come in. And so my bounces are going to be sell zones. Again, your goal is to go, if I put a strategy together, where is it wrong? That's what you want to look for and say, okay, if it comes up here, they ought to sell. I do not want to just go out and take a short. I want to wait, let them lose the level, see how high they bounce. That becomes my stop. And then I take my short, and I am going to take profit at every level that I can see on a daily chart, because this motion is bullish and it's going to bring in buyers. Listen, all the people that have sold and are short, they're going to be buyers. They are definitely going to be buyers at some juncture. And it's probably sooner than later because they've been smashed. All right, that's it for me. Not going to look at the Qs this morning. I've talked too long. just giving you a good rhythm of what to watch for, and I'll see you in the trading rooms. Take care.